Okay, everyone, thank you for coming. We have Columbia head coach Megan Griffith, Kitty Henderson, and Abby Shue. Coach, when you're ready for opening statement.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just didn't play very well today. So, I'm not happy with that effort. They shouldn't be either. We played for, I would say, a good 15 minutes tonight. That's not good enough against a good program. You just got to want it more, and you got to show up. We didn't do that today.
Move on to questions for our student athletes. Again, for media members, please identify yourself and your media outlet.
Rob Brown, Ivy Hoops Online. Kitty, the coach had talked over the first couple games against Princeton that you got to really avoid that knockout in the first 10 minutes. So you guys are going toe-to-toe with them, and then all of a sudden Jada and Caitlin pick up those 2 fouls. What's the mood in the huddle after that first quarter?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we didn't do too well today. We did, we're always talking about winning the first 10 minutes, and we did, we had them toe-to-toe. But then I think our reaction and our body language, which is something that we've been emphasizing a lot, it just wasn't good enough. And I think that was a common theme of the night, which is why we couldn't pull through in the end.
Jen Hatfield with the Next. For either of you, thinking about the other games that you've played against Princeton this season, did this feel relatively similar, different? Do you feel like you grew at all from the first 2 games into this one? Like, how do you kind of put this into context with the other games that you've played against them?
Like Coach said, there were times where we showed that we learned from our past games, but then it looked like we fell back and started repeating old mistakes, and that's just not acceptable in a championship game.
Yeah, exactly like Abby said. I mean, we had a good start, but that's not good enough. You've got to put together a whole game, and we're still yet to do that, which is really frustrating because I know that we can. I think which is why it hurts so much in this moment. But yeah, we've got to learn more because we obviously haven't.
To Abby first, and Kitty, you're welcome to answer this too, certainly. Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Having gotten to this point, can you now sort of see where the promised land really is and how close, or it certainly seems close, but or how far or whatever you are and what you have to do to get there?
I mean, all season long, this is what we had our eyes on, and it's not a shock that we're here. We just, like Coach said, we didn't show up. So it's not like, oh, we made it here, we're satisfied. No, we had our eyes on this all season. It's just got to be better.
For both Kitty and Abby, your fans have really come out in droves this year, both at Levian but also this weekend. Can you talk about, and the coaches talked about creating this brand, creating this culture. Can you talk about how much inspiration and help you get from your fans?
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that our fans came all the way from New York City to come support us, have a fan bus and come support us, it was amazing to feel. I mean, unfortunately, we let them down, but just knowing that we have that energy throughout the season and going into next season, it's going to motivate us to be better.
Yeah, like Abby said, we've got a great culture, and that's why our fans love coming to watch us. I think they can feel that. So yeah, it's a shame that we let them down, but we are very grateful to have them here.
Take a couple more for the student athletes.
Kitty, I'm curious as to whether what you've been able to do this season, what Columbia has done this season, has gotten any pickup at home in Australia, where women's basketball is growing very fast and women's sports in general are riding such a wave of momentum and interest right now.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that watch us here, which is really cool. I'm enjoying every minute here, and I think all of my friends at home are also really, enjoying watching all the games. A lot of my friends get up in the middle of the night to watch us play, and that's just again that culture that kind of gets us fans, I guess. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Any other questions for our student athletes before I let them go? Okay, thank you guys. We'll continue on now with questions for Coach.
Thanks. Megan, understanding completely where Abby was coming from when I asked her that question, do you, at some point, communicate to them, we're really quite close to the mountaintop here and really doing this?
I mean, yes, definitely. Today wasn't the appropriate time, unfortunately. Like, we're still playing. We're going to keep playing. I'm just a very realistic person, and, like, I can't lie to them. So if I'm not happy with something, they'll know it because they would be able to call my bluff. I just, honestly, like, I feel personally like our staff, like, really gave everything for them, and it was just unfortunate that they couldn't, like, step up in some big moments that we really needed somebody to do it. And, you know, Kitty Henderson, I mean, is for be a freshman and be playing in this game, I would just say, you know, this is obviously not the last time you're going to see her in this game. She's a really special player, and Abby is too, and they're both just grown immensely. And I think that's like our whole team has, but we still are growing quite a lot, and I think that's why you see the result that you did tonight, is that we haven't quite grown to the point where they can fix things on their own and adjust in real time.
Megan, Kyle Frankel with the Trentonian. Is there almost an intimidation factor when you go up against a team like Princeton where they've got this long winning streak and nobody in the league has been able to sort of figure out how to beat them? And is that something maybe not just your team, but all the teams have to sort of get over?
I understand that question, but no, I don't think so. I mean, I started the winning culture there with Courtney Banghart and the rest of the staff, so I know what it's like to win and I know what it's like to beat them, but it's not me playing, unfortunately. And I tell my team that all the time. So, you know, it starts from within them, but I will say this, like, you know, that's a very good, talented team. Like, I said this, like, to a lot of the reporters sitting here, like, I've recruited Abby Myers before I got this job, right? Like, she committed to Princeton, and so, like, it's just the level of player and, like, experience that they have, that is what helps them win, right? We just don't have that experience right now. You know, we're playing kids, you know, our starting lineup, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior who should be a sophomore. And Jada Patrick, who barely played, right? I mean, 2 juniors. Jada didn't even play last year. So we just are so inexperienced compared to them when it comes to moments like this. So I don't think it's intimidation for us. I honestly just think it's, like, lack of experience. And, you know, us just getting another year is really going to help us for this exact moment next season.
So kind of building off of that, you guys are young. Princeton is experienced, but only graduates Myers from the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. Does it feel to you at all like this season, the battles between you guys are kind of table setting for what this rivalry could be in next year and a couple years? Absolutely,
Jen. I think you're going to see a lot of great competitions between Columbia and Princeton in the future, and I'm personally really looking forward to that. I love a good rivalry. And, you know, I think that each, you know, team and, you know, Penn and Princeton kind of have had that in, like, the last decade or so. But I do think that, you know, we are right there, and you will see us in this rivalry for a long time to come.
So a couple weeks ago, after the last Princeton game, we talked to a number of us, and you know, the idea like Grace Stone and Caitlin Shen really did that damage in the first quarter, and you thought, well, you know, you played the odds and didn't think Caitlin would be able to kind of duplicate that kind of effort. Mm-hmm. After tonight's performance or this weekend from her, what are your thoughts on her and how did that
I mean, I love Caitlin's game. Wanted her to come to Columbia. I think she would have if maybe it was, you know, the kid wanted to come to Princeton. I know that. She was committed to Princeton before Carly even got there, right? So Caitlin's a really, really nice player. She's very dynamic, and she loves the game, and that's, you can tell with how she plays. You know, I think that one of the things and the reasons that she has so much confidence is because of a player like Abby Myers. Abby carries herself with entirely so much confidence, and I think that is what they're going to miss the most. And the fact that she can just go get a basket. I mean, like, she hits every tough shot, and huge credit to them. I mean, like, she's clearly worked on her game to get to that point. But I do think, you know, Caitlin has stepped up tremendously, and, like, again, like, tip our hats to her. I thought she played a hell of a game.
We'll do 2 more questions for Coach.
So going back to, you saying that you're disappointed with the effort tonight, if you just, if someone just glanced at the box score, you got 4 players in double figures, didn't shoot too poorly. So can you tell us a little bit about what in particular, bothered you the most about this game?
Mm-hmm. Taking care of the ball. We had, in the end of the second quarter, 8 turnovers and 12 possessions, which is what led to the 21-9 quarter, unfortunately. And I just think that the indecision kept mounting. I do think Caitlin and Jada getting in foul trouble, which we mentioned already, made them a little tighter. And that's just being young, You got to understand it's like a next play. You can always make a play up on the other end. And I think we let things get to us, and we were just a little bit rattled, which didn't quite help us with execution or just, timing or playing with purpose. I think that we just kind of froze a little bit. And that was what was honestly the big thing that we talked about in the locker room. But, yeah, it was great. We had 4 people in double figures. But, and I do think you can beat this team if you only score 59 points. But you've got to be more solid defensively, and make sure you minimize those errors on that end.
We'll take one more.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Megan. You said that you recruited Abby back in the day. Whitman's a great school, but was not always a powerhouse in the D.C. area relative to other schools that have produced great talents for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know that Abby was an it player?
Oh, gosh. So there's this funny thing. With the former staff that I was on there, we would, rate people, and, you'd rate some people, and one of the ratings was too good for us. So I knew then, because one of the other assistants said that. And then I was the recruiting coordinator at the time, and I just said, well, I'm going to go get that kid. So, and it wasn't just me. I mean, that's me just taking pride in that. But, our staff, I thought, did a really great job recruiting that kid. And the likes of Abella Allery coming out of the same area, kind of made a name for themselves in the DMV. But I knew then when the other assistant told me it was too good for us when we were there.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.